students hadn't made that connection yet. So they sort of hadn't thought about where the birds and the bees and the flowers and trees and stuff. So that was interesting. But what was even more interesting was that at primary school and then all the way to university, they still hadn't got it, these things. Now, one of the things about kids is they always surprise you. You ask them a question, and they'll come back with an answer and go, oh, I didn't know that. I asked them a question about who eats thistles, because there's a very little link that I want to make. And the answer that they came back with was Eeyore. Absolutely right, I didn't know. There's Eeyore and his thistles. And I was trying to make the point about, that part of the thistle family is the lettuce. In my searching the web, I came up with this one. He was evil. Evil wasn't cool. So, that was good. Of course, the lettuce is a thistle. And I've even done this at home. I've grown the lettuce to flower, and it's just like a thistle plant. And what we do with the heads is we cut the bottom of the lettuce and show the white sap coming off. And they recognize this as something they've seen with dandelion and other thistles as well. But they've taught me that whoever eats thistles, it's not only us that eat thistles when we eat lettuce, but it's also Eeyore. In your investigations, there's this website called Violent Veg, which is quite funny. The students get a chuckle out of it. This is one of the most recent ones I just found last week. Eddie's boss liked to motivate his staff using the carrot and stick approach. I thought that was good. The carrot actually has the stick. So, we'll see a couple more of those. They're quite good. So, the other question was, how could we sort of expand our supermarket botany to a wider audience? We checked on the web, of course, as you do, good old Google, and there's very little out there, much to our surprise, to help people. There was, I think, a botany, Botanic Gardens in Missouri had this little tutorial for school children, but it was pretty inaccurate, we thought, and it just wasn't even photographs of fruit and vegetables, it was just pictures, and you moved them to a particular spot with what they were. So we thought we should try and develop a web-based tutorial. It would help our students, plus it would be an outreach for other students as well. Now, my colleague Jeff Burrows has developed a couple of little websites already, and these are sitting on Charles Sturt University Herbarium page. One of them is about the arrangement of leaves, which our students found it hard to get the concepts of those, plus also fruits, the development of fruits, whether it's a superior or an inferior. And he developed the leaf guide plus a gynecium website, and it was based on a fairly straightforward tutorial where the students would go through and be asked questions, see various images. And this program here is called Toolbook, where you're asked questions about the different things and then it gives you the answer. And you can do it as many times as you like. And students, we got feedback about this. The students said they loved it because they could prepare themselves. For instance, the distance students coming to the what we call the residential school, so 4 days of practical. They could prepare themselves for it because they knew they were going to be examined on that. And they do it as many times as they like, and it's just formative assessment. We don't actually monitor that. So we've started to put together this supermarket botany website. As yet, we've only got a little bit of funding from money that we, donations from friends and so forth, and little grants here and there. So this is what the front page would look like. We've gone out and taken photographs at various supermarkets. In fact, Jeff asked the manager of a supermarket recently, "Can I take a photograph?" He said, "What's it for?" He said, "What's to put on the web?" She said, "No, you can't." And then he went to another one, and they were fine about it. I think they were just a bit paranoid, they didn't know what he was going to do. But, so this is the first page, and then you click into it. Try to make it as simple as possible. Now, this is the level that you would have for, say, high school or university students. But once we get some funding, we'll actually have it for primary school students as well. So you can go off in different directions, in different levels. So you find out about plants, first of all, before you take the challenge. Okay, and then you can have a look at what's on the shelf. Once you can do a tutorial, you can pick one, and then learn about vegetables and fruits. And then there's a little bit here about a tomato, a fruit or a vegetable. People might know that I think it was an act of Congress which determined that a tomato was actually a vegetable in the States because there was some levy being put on it and they wanted to keep it. So they said, well, in our turn, it's going to stay a vegetable. So, so it didn't matter that botanically it was a fruit. It was changed. You can go to the website and read all about it. It's great. And here's another example. Here's about roots. These are scans of clover here. And there's the roots, a bit of information about roots. And then a hint for the challenge. You know, the challenge that we don't eat fine feeding roots. Most of the roots are swollen and are for storage. And does anybody know what this is that we're looking at? A sequence of? It's a tomato. Yeah, this surprised me because, of course, the flowers are this size. But when you see it like that, it's like, gosh, what's that? And then you realise, oh, it's a tomato. So Jeff just took this last week. It actually had big chunks of red plasticine holding them up, but thanks to the wonders of Photoshop, just deleted those. And here's some sexual reproductive tissue, of course, and it's a series of flowers, fruits, and seeds, mature seeds of our old friend the sweet pea. So these are pictures all taken by my colleague Jeff Burrows. These other pictures are taken by our technician, who's quite a whiz with photography. So here you go. A peanut is. So what is a peanut? What is it? The peanut, the whole one, not the actual one. The whole peanut is a fruit. You're right. It's a fruit. It's an underground. It actually goes underground fruit. So there you go. Somebody must have pressed the right button there. It says you're correct. So they press fruit. And then it goes on to explain why it's a fruit and what's inside it. And as you can see here, I always tell the students, you know when you're eating peanuts, you know those bits that go down the side of your sofa? That's actually the rudimentary, the embryo, the leaves and the root. So next time you find that thing going down there, say, oh, the actual plant has gone down, well, the embryo, not the cotyledon, has gone down the side of the sofa. And of course, an onion. An onion are overlapping storage leaves. It's still got a stem in there and the little roots at the bottom, but the main component are the leaves, and there's the stem at the bottom. What else we got? Oh, and this is probably near the end now. One of my favourites. Can you imagine the fortune these guys are making just by a couple of little eyes and stuff, and coming up with those ideas? It's great. So that's the end of the talk, more or less. Just with acknowledgements to the people who've actually helped make it possible so far. The one thing that I haven't really mentioned is where to from here. Well, the first thing is to try and complete this in a reasonable time frame. Put it up on the web and advertise it so that people will use it. The other one is to make it available, or a different one available to primary school students. And then, who knows where you could take it from then. There could be other tutorials of interest on botanical themes that students would find really useful. And the idea would be to have it open access, because that's, I think, you get the best sort of bangs for your buck when you do that. And hopefully lots of people would use it. Thank you.